Let me show you how to use end-to-end testing project generator. You can use either public website endly external appspot.com, which is run endly-g to run it on a local box. The generator can create either test project for your external application. In this case, you would your get or SVN URL, or you can just use one of the predefined templates. If you were to decide to use external application, as long as you provide the Docker file and Docker Compose, generator will customize the application workflow to build and deploy your application using Docker service. In this presentation, however, I'll focus on the predefined Golang templates. I'll start with the Hello World application. Select names, and I will decide the database that application uses and the name of the database. In the regression option, you can define how and when your database will be loaded to your data store. And you can decide whether you want to validate your data in your data store too. In the regression option, you can decide also which runner do you want to use to test your application. I'll use Selenium and HTTP runner. And at this point, I'm ready to generate my project. Great. Let's quickly examine what has been generated. Great. I have main Go file, which is a simple HTTP service with static page hello world. And I also have e2e folder, which contains end-to-end testing project. If you run endly without any parameters, run YAML as an entry point. This YAML file defines the workflows. You can also use CSV or other tabular format to define the workflows. In run.yaml, we can see three main tasks: init, test, and destroy. So let me run first init task. And here, 1, 2e minus. Okay. The init task delegates the actual work to three other workflows: system, data store, and app. System workflow is responsible for preparing dependencies for an application. In this case, it would be just MySQL instance. The data store workflow is responsible for creating database. It will use schema SQL to create your database. And also, it will load initial data in your database that is defined in this particular case in data store db1 dictionary folder. Great, my initialization has been completed. At this point, I should be able to examine my database. So let's see what tables have been created. And let's also quickly select what is there. Yeah, and those entries pretty much one-to-one what has been defined in this dictionary folder. Okay, so let me move to the next major task, which is the test. So I will be running now test. And meanwhile, I will quickly dive in the most complex workflow, which is the regression workflow. Okay. So the test workflow also has three tasks. They organize in the tabular format. So you've got init task, test task, and destroy task. In the init task, I'm initializing workflow and also setting initial data state for the application. And then in the test task, I'm running data for individual use case. I'm running Selenium runner, HTTP runner. I'm validating data. And finally, in the destroy, I'm just stopping all the services, Selenium and other dependencies. So let's quickly examine the structure of use cases. So each use case has individual folder when you can define all the input data, all the instruction for your test runner, whether this is Selenium runner or HTTP runner, and you can also define the folder with expected data. And you've got the definition for each use case. So let me break something at this point. So let's change maybe response from 400 to 300, 200 to 300, and let's run again test and see how it breaks. Okay, now I can see the actual test broke. And Endly provide a summary and a quick way to reproduce each use case. In this case, the problem was on this get request. I get status 200, but actually application expected 300 as I've changed it. At this point, I can either run this individual use case. So let me fix it back. So actually you should pass this time. Or again, I can run all the tests with just -t test. Once I'm done with the testing, I can run endly -t task destroy, which will bring the system to its original state. Thank you for watching this presentation.